हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Anybody else will continue, Mataji?
P.N. Vijayan Mataji, would you like to continue? Yeah, Mataji, please continue.
Mataji, can I do 6 stars now?
Ashtakam.
Huh? Or any bhajan?
Yeah, Mataji, you can continue this kirtan only because it is 9:20. At 9:30, Prabhu will start his class.
Hare Krishna. Oh.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Shri Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hare Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Thank you, P.N. Vijayan Mataji, and thank you, Vivo Mataji, because I don't know your name, Mataji. Please type your name so that we know.
Mataji, my name is Prabhavati
Mataji. So thank you, Prabhavati Mataji, for wonderful Kirtan. So now we have His Grace Sanatana Balram Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam.
Hare Krishna, pranams to you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna and Dandavat pranams to all the devotees here. I hope my audio is okay. You're able to hear. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, let's start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripātam aham vande Shri Guru Dīnatarinam Paramanandamādhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So today I'll try to share the verse. 1 second. So we are starting a new chapter today. So we will be actually looking at the we are in the third canto, and the 10th chapter is what we are going to begin. So we'll start with the first verse. So we'll today be covering 5 verses, 1 to 5. So which means 5 verses and 5 translations. So 10 devotees can read one after another. But before we do that, I'll just read the first verse and then we can continue. So I already see some hands up, so that's very encouraging. Thank you so much. So Vidura Vacha Antarhite Bhagavati Dhamma Lokapitamaha Prajha Sasarjakatidha Daihikir Manasir Vibhuhu. So who would like to read this?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, please go ahead. You can see the verse on the screen.
Vidura Uvacha Antarhite Bhagavati Brahmaloka Pitamaha Prajasas Arjakatidha Daihikir Manasir Vibhuhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranams. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Vidura said, "O great sage, please let me know how Brahma, the grandfather of the planetary inhabitants, created the bodies of the living entities from his own body and mind after the disappearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead." Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. And now there is no purport for that particular verse. So second verse we can look at now. So second verse, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Echa me Bhagavan Pristas Vai Artha Bahuvittama Tan Vadasvanupurvena Chindina Sarva Samsayan. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And the translation, who would like to do this?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Translation by Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. O greatly learned one, kindly eradicate all my doubts and let me know of all that I have inquired from you from the beginning to the end. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. Verse number 3.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Go ahead.
Sutta Uvacha Evam Sanchoditastena Chatra Kaushara Vibhulihi Virita Pratyahatan Prashnan Radhistan Ata Bhargava. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. And the translation?
Krishnamurti Prabhuji, you can read, Prabhuji. Krishnamurti Prabhuji. Okay.
Okay, Mita. Translation.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Suta Goswami said, "O son of Bhrigu, the great sage Maitreya Muni, thus hearing from Vidura, felt very much enlivened. Everything was in his heart, and thus he began to reply to the questions one after another." Shall I read purport, Prabhuji?
No, Prabhu.
We'll give a chance to the next person, Prabhuji.
Okay. Thanks. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Samsung, I can see the name as Samsung.
May I read, Mataji?
Yes.
Sloka?
Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Maitreya Uvacha
विरिञ्चो अभितथा चक्रे दिव्यं वर्षशतं तपः आत्मन्यात्मानमावेश्य यथाह भगवान् चः.
And the translation, please. Somebody
Sunita
else.
Arvind Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The greatly learned sage Maitreya said, O Vidura, Brahma thus engaged himself in penances for 100 celestial years, as advised by the personality of Godhead, and applied himself in devotional service to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. And the final one coming
Vandana
up.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams.
Dandavat Pranams.
तद्विलोक्यब्च सम्भूतो वायुना यद् अधिष्ठितः पद्मम् अम्भश्च तत्कालाकृतवीर्येण कम्पितम्. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I'll read the translation. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Mataji, please. Hare Krishna. Thereafter, translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, Brahma saw that both the lotus on which he was situated and the water on which the lotus was growing were trembling due to a strong violent wind. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all the devotees who actively participated in the reading. So that was very nice. And now we will look at what is the conclusion or what is the import of these verses. Just before we get started, the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna once again to all the devotees, and just thanking Narayani Kupamai Mataji and ICF team for giving me this opportunity to speak on these verses. This kindly bless me so that I'll be able to do some justice to the wonderful conversations that we are seeing in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, and the right words are coming in the right moment in the right spirit as a seva for my Guru Maharaj, the Parampara, as well as for the pleasure of the Lordship. So, on that note, we can get started. So, the very first verse, see, actually, what is this particular topic? We are in the third canto, like I said, and that's the 10th chapter that we are beginning now. This is actually titled Divisions of Creation. So, there are divisions of creation, which we will see in detail. And the very first shloka, actually, Vidura is asking Maitreya Rishi. So, he wants to know, what did Lord Brahma do after the Supreme Personality of Godhead left? I mean, he had manifested in front of Brahma. So, we all know that in the previous chapter, it was all the prayers of Lord Brahma. And then we saw how the Lord became so happy that he manifested, and then he has a conversation with Lord Brahma, and after that he is gone. So now, after that, now Vidura immediately is asking Maitreya, what did Lord Brahma do? How did he do the creation? So kindly clear all my doubts. So he's got so much of doubts. He's asking questions, and then he's very eager. He's showing eagerness. And he wants to hear the answer. So there is this eagerness to hear, which is very clearly seen in Vidura. Vidura, even though he was so learned, he knew everything about the dharma because he is an avatar of Yamaraj, but still he is always eager to hear about the transcendental glories of the Lord. So in the purport, actually, Srila Prabhupada is saying how Vidura was asking, or he asked all the right questions to Maitreya. Why he was asking these questions? Because he knew that Maitreya is the right person. So when you find the right person, then we will have to have the right questions with that person. We cannot end up asking some wrong questions, because then it is a missed chance for us. So that's one of the things that Prabhupada is mentioning, where we will have to ask the right questions when we find the right person or the right teacher. Okay, so one should be confident about the qualification of the teacher, like how Vidura is very confident about Maitreya. Why he is confident about Maitreya? Because he knew that Maitreya was a very great sage, number one. And number two is that if you recall the earlier chapters, he actually knows, or he came to know through Uddhava. If you recall, through Uddhava, he came to know that Maitreya was also there when Krishna was talking to Uddhava. So this knowledge is as direct as it can get, because it was coming directly from Krishna to Maitreya. So he knew that Maitreya had all the answers. So he knew that he had found. And then we saw how earlier Uddhava had actually requested Vidura to go and then meet Maitreya, so that he will be able to speak to him or give all the answers. So that's the background to this whole thing. And then the aspect of surrender, because whenever there is any inquiry, when there is a question and answer, the person who is asking the question is actually, he wants to know certain things. So the teacher and student relationship is a relationship which is predominantly of surrender and respect. So, and of course, when there is this competent authority that is identified, then immediately surrender has to happen and respect has to happen. This we can see even in the modern day education system also. The teachers who do well, who are able to inculcate some amount of inspiration or knowledge to the people, they are generally very competent, and then they are an authority, or they have a command or a connection to that particular knowledge. So this is one of the takeaways for us, because if we have to get the spiritual knowledge, then we have to find a person who is competent and who is also an authority. There are two things here. One is being competent, which means that that person knows the subject, and then authority. Authority means like connected, like bona fide, like connected to the parampara. So these two has to happen. And then well versed, and then he should know the truth. He should be a believer of the truth. Those are the qualifications of a guru. And then he should be connected to the parampara. So when we say competent authority, then we are talking about these two. So then before surrender happens, what comes is faith. So we'll have to have the faith in that particular teacher or guru. And then the faith in the personality of Godhead actually will reflect in the faith in the guru, because the guru is connected to the Lord. So if you don't have faith in the Lord, then the whole thing collapses. It comes down like a pack of cards. So because the base for all this is that that person is connected to Krishna. And then our faith, depending on our faith into Krishna, to that extent, we will repose our faith on the spiritual master, even though we understand that he is a competent authority. So that is why then in Bhagavad Gita also there is this particular shloka, which many of you might be aware, Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So in that is in 4.34. Yeah. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. So here Krishna is saying how, when you find the competent authority, what is the process that one has to follow, how this questioning should be. That is, Krishna says, just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth, because they know, then by their mercy, you will also come into the know of the truth, because they already know it, and they will be able to impart it on to you. But for that, the main thing is being submissive and then rendering service to them. So this is the path of spiritual realization. And Prabhupada is saying that undoubtedly it is difficult. It is not very easy. It is very difficult to surrender. The most difficult thing for any living entity is to surrender to another living entity, isn't it? Because our ego does not, it comes in the way. It doesn't allow us to surrender so easily. Even if we surrender, we will do it grudgingly. Or there's always this element of trying to say, okay, for now it's all right. Somehow I'll bear with it. I'll bear with it. Or I'll have to go through this. That's the type of feeling that we have when we talk about surrender. So the Lord therefore is advising us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. Then that is the way that one has to go for this particular knowledge. And then the Lord is actually the original spiritual master. So here you can see how the Lord is actually speaking to Brahma. He gave a lot of instructions to Brahma. So the connection between the Lord and Brahma is clearly established. And then from Brahma downwards is also established, because our Sampradaya is Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Sampradaya. So there is this parampara, or the lineage, which is very clearly established to Krishna, from Krishna towards us. We can actually trace out that particular path, and then we can thereby understand that we are actually under a competent authority when we connect to the initiating gurus or Siksha or Diksha gurus who are available right now. So when the moment we make that official connection, that means that we are officially connecting to Krishna. That means that we have taken admission into that university, which will take us out of this realm of birth and death and old age and disease. So now these spiritual things are actually what is already ordained by the Lord. And that is what we are calling it as dharma. And dharma is not something that is man-made. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. That is what in Bhagavatam, in the 6th canto also, there is a mention which talks about this. And the path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. The Lord is saying, so whatever the Lord is saying is dharma, or it is the religious principle or the directive for us to follow. So therefore, religion is not about mental speculation or dry arguments or any of those other things that we get to see. The only way that one can get the right knowledge is by approaching a spiritual master who is bona fide. And then just approaching is not enough. After we approach, then there has to be surrender. And then there has to be a seva. And in the mood of surrender and seva, questioning has to happen. Thereby, we will be able to get ourselves out of the mess that we are in, which is the material world. So Prabhupada says, unless there is submission and service, enquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the trust of the spiritual master and sees the genuine desire of the disciple. He automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. So what happens there? There is mercy that is coming through. And this mercy is the mercy that is coming from Krishna through this parampara, through the various individuals or the personalities who are there, and then it reaches us. So that is how important this particular link is. Therefore, when a student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiry becomes perfect. So this is what is something that Krishna very clearly is describing in Bhagavad Gita also. So now we have Vidura, who's actually identified the teacher, and then he is seeking answers for certain questions, and that is what we are seeing now. Then in the third verse, actually goes to Suta Goswami. So what is that? Actually, there they are highlighting it as a conversation between Suta Goswami. He says Suta Vacha, and then Suta Goswami is speaking. So now there is a little bit of a confusion sometimes. We were hearing Vidura Vacha and then Maitreya Vacha, and then Suta Goswami was nowhere in the picture. But then purposely there is a reference that is taken for Suta Goswami. So why is that happening? Then Srila Prabhupada actually explains and then says that we need to understand that there is no break in the conversation or the continuity of the narration. The narrative is going on continuously, and that is one of the hallmarks of the Shrimad Bhagavatam, because time and again you will see there are multiple conversations that have happened in the past, and the references of those are taken. So it is like a continuous thing that is happening. So how many conversations are happening in Shrimad Bhagavatam? The very first conversation was, of course, with Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Now, where did Sukadev Goswami get this particular knowledge? He got it from his father, Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva, again, where did he get it from? Through the help of Narada Muni. And then the knowledge was revealed to him when he meditated. And now Narada Muni is again connected to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma is connected to Krishna. So anyway, that is with respect to the parampara. Now, Sukadev Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, in that Sabha, we know that there was Suta Goswami and there were many rishis who were there. Out of that, Suta Goswami was also there. Now, this personality, Suta Goswami, when he happened to be after the conversation, after the Saptaha was over, after the Parikshit incident was over, then after many years, then there is a gathering of sages that happens in Naimisharanya. And Naimisharanya gathering is headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So that is why sometimes you say Shaunaka Adi, means Shaunaka and others. And they actually request Suta Goswami. Suta Goswami also happens to be there. So they request him, and then they say that we want to hear the Bhagavatam that was told by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. You were also there as an audience at that point, so please kindly narrate that. And then he agrees, and then he begins that narration. So now there are two conversations that happen parallelly, like simultaneously. So sometimes you will see Suta Uvacha, sometimes you see Sukadev Uvacha. And then now here, within those conversations, this is a conversation between Vidura and Maitreya. So if you recall in the beginning, we said that the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya, which is as a narration being told by Suta Goswami, which is already told by Sukadev Goswami earlier, so is the continuity that we are seeing now. And then we know that Vidura and Maitreya had a very long conversation, because there are around 2 or 3 cantos which fill up this particular conversation. So all the pastimes that are being narrated, all the discussions that are happening is the quote for that is by the conversations, or the basis is the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya Rishi, narrated by Suta Goswami to Shaunakadi in Naimisharanya, which again was in turn narrated by Sukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj and others in during that period. We know that when just after the Mahabharata war, when Parikshit Maharaj was the king. So this is the continuity that we are seeing. And then Prabhupada rightly concludes in the third verse saying that there is no break in the conversation, because or in the continuity of the Leela or the message that is being told. And this also goes on to prove that there is no distortion or break in the message that is coming down to us. There is Shravanam and Kirtanam. So one person is speaking, the other one is hearing, and then the person who has heard is again speaking to another person, and then it comes down like that in a bona fide way, because they are all very elevated souls or personalities who knew the important and who knew how important it is not to dilute even a little bit, and then ensure that the knowledge gets passed down. So this is the third verse is an assurance for us, and also a clarification for us, and also an indication for us that the knowledge has always been coming from a guru to a shishya, and then the parampara or the lineage becomes very important. And then as long as we are hearing from the lineage, from the parampara, then there is nothing to be worried of, because the truth will remain intact. It gets preserved, and then it is getting passed down. So Nigama Kalpatarur Galitam Phalam, that fruit, the mature fruit or the ripened fruit, is being passed down very nicely, carefully. See, if there is a very ripe fruit which can be eaten, very sweet and ripe fruit, if it drops from the top of a tree, then it gets opened up, it splatters, and then it becomes not so edible, right? But if somebody is going up the tree and then passing it down carefully from one hand to another, and then that fruit is coming to us without being damaged, then we'll be able to release that sweetness without the impurity of the mud and other things if it falls down. I mean, when it falls down, it gets into that. So like this, I mean, this is the explanation that they give in Shrimad Bhagavatam, where they say that the fruit is carefully handed down through the parampara so that we can taste that particular nectar. And that is what is happening here. And then what is the next thing that is being discussed? There, they are talking about what is it that Brahma has to do moving forward. So in that next shloka, fourth shloka, it is saying how engaging in devotional service and how that is important, and how engagement in devotional service becomes the highest penance or austerity that one can do. And then there is no holiday or there is no break in that particular service. See, if you see Brahma, then later on, we know that he lives for 100 years. His years, of course, is different. But then what happens every day in that 100 years, that is his 100 years also has 365 days. And then so 365 days into 100, so that many times without a break, without CL, casual leave or sick leave or anything, he is on his job, because every day creation has to happen. And every day then towards the night, then it winds up. Then again, the next morning he has to create, then again and again. And he has to do this for 100 years. Can you imagine working or doing some activity that continuously for that long, lifelong, without a break, going on and on with it, and then doing it enthusiastically, doing it with devotion. I mean, doing it to please Krishna. So this is what is actually devotion. We can understand from how from the life of Brahmaji, or what he is doing. Brahma, we know, his caste is 50 years. He's in the 51st year. And then, of course, there is this Manvantara and all of that. So we know where we are. Half of his life is over, another half is there. So he's only come 50%, another 50%. But then every day morning he has to do creation, and then by evening it gets annihilated. Means small annihilation happens, and then again the next day he has to create, so on and so forth. It will go. So this is that one kalpa that we are talking about, or day of Brahma. And similar is the night of Brahma. So all that, we know those calculations. So what I'm trying to say is, if you just put ourselves in the shoes of Brahma, do you think we'll be able to perform any of that? No. But still Brahma was able to do. How he did that, that is what is this inquiry all about. Vidura wants to know, what did he do? How did he do? And all that. So, and then, so then he said that what did he do was he engaged himself in devotional service. That is the highest penance or the austerity that he did. This is an austerity for Brahma, doing it every day. Like for us, it becomes an austerity to chant. It becomes an austerity for us to go to the temple or whatever we are doing. If we have to do it every day, then it's an austerity. We just do it one day, that is okay. But then if we are able to do it every day, then it needs that extra tolerance, perseverance, faith, and all of that. No? So that becomes penance and or austerity. And the highest penance or austerity is serving the Lord and nothing more. That is why that Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, they say, no, that Bhakti Yoga is ahaituki and apratihata. In Shrimad Bhagavatam, it says it is ahaituki. That means it doesn't have any reason or cause. And apratihata, that means it is continuous. There is no break. So not having a break, not having any ulterior desire or motive to do it. When we are able to take care of these two and then serve the Lord, then it becomes Bhakti Yoga. So now, after that, in the final verse, the fifth verse for today, what is happening is they are seeing, or it is being told here, that there is a lot of disturbance to the lotus and the water in which the lotus was. So we know that there is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, then there is a navel of Vishnu, and from the navel there is a lotus that is sprung. The navel has water in it, and from that water the lotus is sprung, and on that Brahmaji was born. So now when Brahmaji is on that, and then with this realized knowledge, when he is looking, then he suddenly sees that there is agitation, there is trembling of this water, as well as the lotus, the stem, everything. So he is actually a little concerned. He is wondering what is happening. And then he is actually, Prabhupada actually in the purport says that he is being, since he is like strong by the mercy of the Lord, he could not become a victim to this particular trembling thing that he sees. It doesn't allow him to, I mean, he's not affected. It doesn't allow him to get affected by that particular trembling movement or anything. So if we are sitting in a house and suddenly if our house is moving or trembling, let's say there's an earthquake, I mean, no need to have it, but I'm just saying. So then suddenly there is panic, then we want to rush out, then we don't know what is happening. All that happens. So similarly, Brahmaji is also stirred a little bit. He's concerned, but then he doesn't panic. So there's this word called as stirred, but then not shaken. So it's like because of the maturity, because of the mercy of the Lord. So that is how this particular verse is also being concluded by Srila Prabhupada. So long penance and transcendental knowledge of self-realization matures into practical knowledge. This is the conclusion that is there. So when there is long penance that is happening, because we know Brahma worship or did penances for 100 years before this, and then he acquired this knowledge of self-realization, and that kind of matured into practical knowledge for him, because he knew what he had to do. He knew how to go about with creation. He didn't allow that disturbance to affect him so much, but he continued to do, or he started to do what he had to do. So this is what is the sum and substance of what are the 5 verses that we are seeing. So just to summarize quickly, what are the 4 things? One is, one has to make inquiries with respect to the Lord. So we have to make the right inquiries or proper inquiry. And whom do we have to make it with? We have to be aware of the parampara. So we can't go around asking anybody and everybody about spiritual knowledge, or any challenge you TV channel you switch on and then you start to hear something, then I will take something from here, or I will Google something and then see. So many people are saying so many things, so maybe this is correct. No, nothing of that sort. We'll have to be aware of the parampara, and then we will have to ensure or that the knowledge is coming from the parampara without any break, and then we have to surrender to the parampara and accept the knowledge that is given there. So this is another point that comes out very clearly. One is, we have to make the inquiries. On its own, it will not come. And then when we make the inquiry, then we will have to make the inquiry with the right person. And then we will also, we are seeing here, what is that knowledge, or what is the sum and essence of the knowledge that is there. That was also discussed in this particular verse. And then that is the aspect of Bhakti Yoga. So we just saw that. And then the last verse is interesting, where Prabhupada says that the Maya and devotee are always at war. The moment you try to do some action or activities, there is, the moment you are in this material world, then Maya, you're covered by Maya. And then Maya is always trying to disturb you, because we know that this place is Dukalayam and Ashashvatam and all of that. So nothing is permanent. So if you're sitting in a place, it doesn't mean you can sit there permanently, like unlike how Brahmaji thought. So it started trembling and all that. So then, but then he had the knowledge by then, so he was able to counter that and then go ahead with this creation. That we will see, you will all see it in the coming shloka. So the right knowledge actually leads to right action. And so this is like jnana and then vijnana. You might have heard these terms. So jnana is knowledge and vijnana is the practical application of knowledge. So when you have right knowledge, then right vijnana happens, so that there is proper application of this particular knowledge. So now, after we have seen all of this, I just take a little bit of a pause, and then we will see in the previous chapter what were the benedictions that Lord Brahma received. So the previous chapter, the 9th chapter, where Brahma's prayers, you all have gone through that. So what was happening there, if you have to look at it in entirety at a very high level? Initially, there was anxiety for Brahmaji. He was born, and then he didn't know who he was, or he didn't know why I am here. And then he looks around, it is all dark. He doesn't know his environment. He doesn't know what I have to do. And he doesn't know how to do it also. If at all I have to do something, he doesn't know how to do it. So there are so many things, so much of ignorance is there, so much of darkness is there, and his mind also, he is not very sure what to do. So this is the symptom of the material world. It affects all of us, right from Brahma downwards. Even Brahma was not spared of this. So what about us? So from Brahma to the smallest worm, everybody goes through the same anxiety or the same, confusion or all that is there. We just spoke of, where we don't know why we are here. Then we don't know what is our environment. We are trying to comprehend. Sometimes we try to comprehend the world around us. Why are people behaving like this? Why is this happening to me? Why I am being targeted, so on and so forth. So we don't know the environment. Then we don't know what I should do. And then we don't know, even if we know what we should do, then how to do it, we don't know. We might make mistakes in how to do it also. So all these are there. Then what happened to Brahmaji actually immediately? There was an inspiration from the Lord. If you recall in the story, the sounds came. And then he said that Lord Brahma was actually intelligent enough to understand or read the sign when it came. The tapa, then he understood that I have to sit and meditate on these two sounds. Maybe there is some clue there for me. He was not very sure, but then he had some faith that there is something coming my way. I have to meditate and then I have to. So he started meditating, tapa. So the tapas started. And then that tapas went on for 100 years. And then, so that is the effort part. That is the austerity part. So all of us, we are in the same boat. We are in ignorance. Then there are some signs. If we are able to pick up those signs, then we have to do hard work. We have to do tapas. We have to do austerity. And then after that, then there will be some revelation or some reciprocation that will have from the Lord. So in Brahmaji's case, the Lord came after 100 years of that celestial years of tapas. Then the Lord became pleased, and then he manifested. Now, now that the Lord has gone, I mean, after he manifested, then he speaks and then he leaves. Then this situation where we are in now, what we are discussing is what happened. That is the question that is coming up. So now, when the Lord came, what did he say? Let us try to see that. So because the Lord got peace, so there was ignorance first, then there was a sign. So Brahmaji picked up that sign, then he did the right thing, which is meditation, and then he did tapas or austerity. And because of that austerity and tapas, which is the austerity for wanting to know about oneself, that's the eagerness and all of that was shown by Brahmaji, the Lord became pleased, then he manifested. Then he gives him advice or he gives him certain things. So let's see what he said before he left. So the first thing that the Lord said in the 9th chapter is that be neither depressed nor anxious about execution of creation, because he knew, I mean, he had to do creation. So the Lord is saying, be neither depressed nor anxious about it. So when we know what we have to do, before we take up that work, our frame of mind should be that we are neither depressed about doing it nor anxious about it. So we should just execute it. So then the Lord says, he is telling to Brahma, place yourself in penance and meditation. Follow the principles of knowledge. So he's saying, place yourself in penance and meditation. So meditation on whom? On the Lord. Penance, austerity for what? For pleasing the Lord, for following the principles of knowledge. So then what happens by that is, then you will receive my favor. So that is what Brahmaji is being instructed by the Lord when he came. Then he says, by my favor, by my mercy, you can understand everything from within your heart. So the understanding is not from the mind or the intelligence, it is from the heart, because the word to be noted is heart. Another word that is to be noted is by my favor. So by the favor of the Lord, when we do these activities, by the favor of the Lord only we will get. It is not like it is all within me. I do some effort, I try to understand and I will understand. No, that is at the brain level. No, that's not like that. Or at the mind level. That's not how it is. Divya Jnana is Hridaya Prakashito. We sing that song. So Divya Jnana, if it has to, it gets manifested in the heart, and that manifestation of the Divya Jnana is because of the mercy of the Lord. This we have to be very clear. Whatever is our effort, that effort only pleases him, and because of that, because the Lord is pleased, there's a reciprocation and the mercy comes. So there are two entities involved in our understanding: my effort and then the Lord's mercy. And this is what we learn even in Damodar Leela also, right? This is a holy month of Kartik or Damodar month, where every day or almost every day we hear the stories of Kartik Mass, where the two-finger shot while Yashodama is trying to bind Krishna, and then binding of the Krishna or binding of Krishna or pleasing Krishna is, there are two aspects that are there. If any one is short, then we'll not be able to bind Krishna. So one is about the favor of the Lord and our effort. So both are being recognized here. So if you look at our scriptures, our stories or leelas, everything, the basic principle remains the same. It is just that it comes out in different places, but then it all culminates to the same point. So how much more we need to be convinced about these things, I don't know. I mean, at least each time we read, we are convinced, but then after some time we again forget. Then again we'll have to be convinced. Then again we'll have to sit through. Then, like that, it goes on and on. So how much more patient the Lord is. He doesn't, I mean, we have to teach our children, and then suddenly we have to repeat ourselves more often, then there is this element of irritation that comes in and say, how many times do I have to tell you? Don't you get it? So, but then the Lord is not like that. I mean, he continues to give us these signs. He patiently waits, and then he's so merciful that he is, even though we make all these mistakes, we don't get it right the first time, or we forget it and all of that, still he continues to do that. So how that much merciful the Lord is. So that's one more aspect that we should always remember. And then the Lord continues to say, in fact, in the 31st verse in the previous chapter, he says, when one is absorbed in devotional service in the course of the and then when you're doing this creation work, then you will see me in you, and you will see me throughout the universe, and you will also see me in the living entities. So, and you will also see how all are in me. So this is self-realization as well as God realization. Sometimes we get confused, no? What is self-realization and how is sometimes they equate it to God realization? Here is the answer for that, where the Lord is saying, if you are absorbed in devotional service, then you, and then you continue to do your activity, which is the creation, then you will see me in you, and then you will see the whole universe through, you will see me in the whole universe, and also you will see me in the other living entities. So this is what Krishna consciousness is all about, right? We love trying to see Krishna in everything, in every action, in every person, in every object that we see, trying to see Krishna. And that's what the Lord is saying. How do we do that? When we are absorbed in devotional service. Devotional service here is dhyana yoga, thinking of the Lord always, but then continue to do some activity, then you can see me. This is what Krishna or Narayana means, the expansion of Krishna is, which is Narayana. So he is telling Brahmaji. This actually, then what will happen by doing this? This will free you from the illusion, because you are an illusion, because you are born in the material space, that is the Brahmanda, which is material. So you are an illusion, so it will free you from illusion. Then once free from the concept of illusion, which is what is gross, what is subtle bodies, what are the senses, what is the influence of material nature, all of this, when you become free of all of that, then you will realize your pure form in my association. It is not independent. It is in the association of the Lord we will realize who I am. So who I am with respect to the Lord. So like this, Brahma is actually giving beautiful points or main takeaways that I'm just reading out. And Krishna is telling Brahma, and then Krishna is telling Brahma that this is pure consciousness. And then most important thing is that while he said all this, he says all this is by the mercy of the Lord, or it is because of my mercy that you are able to understand or perceive all this. So now if we are able to sit here, listen or speak about all this katha, then it is only because of the mercy of the Lord and nothing else. Of course, our effort is there because we need the effort. Means we need that penance or that austerity. So we have something pressing, but we try to adjust the time and then sit through. This is austerity. This is penance. And then for that, then Krishna rewards. So how he rewards? He gives his mercy. And that giving the mercy means we will have some understanding of the Lord. Then we have a little more better understanding of the Lord. And when we have better understanding of the Lord, then we will be able to think better or more often of the Lord. And when we think more often about the Lord, that means then we are moving towards the dhyana yoga. Let's Krishna in the 6th chapter, he concludes, no, yoginam api sarvesham. So among all the yogis, the one who's always thinking about me is the most perfect. So we'll be able to move towards that particular this thing of becoming a perfect yogi. So like this, if we are able to see Krishna's hand in everything that is happening to us, I'm just trying to, from Brahmaji, then I'm just coming down to ourselves, because this is the takeaway that we will have to be aware of. Then, and this is not something that we are just saying. In fact, in the same 9th chapter, the Lord is concluding that, like how any human who worships or prays like Brahma shall very soon be blessed with fulfillment of desires, for I am the Lord of all benedictions. That is how the Lord is continuing in that. So there is an assurance. It's not like we are trying to copy Brahma, but then he says very clearly, if you worship me and then pray to me like how Brahma did, then very soon you will be blessed with fulfillment of desires, and because I am the Lord of all benedictions. So this is this way we can understand that this message is directly for us, even though it was for Lord Brahma. And then the Lord says that Brahma, you chanted, and then you by praising my activities, and then the penances that you took to understand me, and then your faith in me, all this has made me happy. That is one thing. But then he concludes saying that all this is due to my causeless mercy. Whatever has happened to you is all because of my mercy. So this is a revelation that the Lord is giving to Brahmaji and to all of us through Brahma. He's saying that the revelation is that whatever is happening, or whatever good thing, whatever is there for you, or whatever you thought you did, is not because of your effort. It is because of my causeless mercy. So that's how the Lord is concluding. So he is telling Brahma, you chanted praising my activities, and then the penances that you undertook to understand me, and then the faith that you have in me. So if we have some faith in the Lord, it is because of the mercy of the Lord. If we did some devotional service, or we've been doing, or we did something today, it is because of the mercy of the Lord. And then if we were able to praise the Lord in some occasion, that is because of the mercy of the Lord, because he gave us the intelligence so that we will be able to speak about the Lord. So this should be our mood of receiver, not the mood of achiever. Today, so much time I remembered the Lord. No, not like that. It is only because of the mercy that we are able to remember. So this is the way we will have to position ourselves. And this is what Vidura is doing. And this is what Brahmaji did. And this is what all the sages in Naimisharanya did when Suta Goswami was speaking. This is what Parikshit Maharaj did when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking. So like that, because immaterial of who's speaking, because it is a revealed knowledge, the Lord has revealed it to Brahma, and from there then it is being revealed, or it is being spoken or told to other people. So actually the knowledge is revealed, but then it is handed down directly. So it becomes revealed knowledge still. So actually we are not even, see, if you look at knowledge, there are three things. One is acquired knowledge, the other one is realized knowledge, the third one is revealed knowledge. Revealed knowledge is the highest. But we have not done anything for revelation. But then look at the mercy of the Lord. The revealed knowledge is coming directly to us on this wonderful Monday morning, or every morning when we sit through the pages of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Then the revealed knowledge is what is coming to us. And so we must be that much more grateful to the Lord, that much more humble we should be, because we don't deserve it, because it is all mercy. Mercy means not coming. So it is like, I know I've got 100 out of 100 in a paper that I attempted, but then I know that there was a mistake in the totaling, or some mercy. Somebody, just the teacher gave me extra mark and I got more than what I deserve. What should be our feeling? Will we be so proud? No, within us, even though we might say outside, we may not tell anybody, we might try to hide it, but then within us, we know, actually, I don't deserve this, but still I got 100 out of 100. We'll know that. That is how we should see for all our day-to-day things. So because I don't deserve it, but then Lord is merciful, He has given me. So that's it. Then thereby it will make us more humble. Thereby it will make us, our false ego, it will not grow out of this thing. Each time we'll have to keep reminding ourselves of this. And that is a penance. That is an austerity, because it's not easy to do. We saw, devotional service is very difficult. So if we are able to do that, then it pleases the Lord. And when the Lord is pleased, then more mercy will come. So it's a vicious circle, but then it's spiraling upwards. It will take us towards the Lord. It's not a vicious circle which will take us down, but it will take us up. So since you did this, I am pleased, the Lord is saying finally. So any human, we saw this, any human who worships and prays like Brahma shall very soon be blessed with fulfillment of desires, for I am the Lord of all benediction. That's another verse. In another verse, he is concluding like that. So, and also he goes on and then finally says that any traditional good work that a person does, or any penances, or any sacrifices, or any charity, or any trance or mystic activity, all that is there to invoke my satisfaction. The underlying word is satisfaction of the Lord. So that is what the Lord is saying. You all did this to satisfy me, I am pleased. And then my costless mercy will flow because I'm pleased. So now, what is the topmost dharma then? The topmost dharma is not even following the dharma. It is to please the Lord. That's all. If you please the Lord, then the whole world is pleased. Krishna tushtam, Jagat tushtam, they say. So like that. And then if you look at all the pastimes, all the Mahabharata incidents, everything there, what is happening? Highest dharma is pleasing of the Lord. Arjuna disobeyed, or not disobeyed, sorry, he broke the rules of the warfare, but he did that to please the Lord, while he was told to shoot the arrow at Karuna and all that. Then actually Yudhishthir Maharaj was given a chance to follow the instructions of the Lord and please the Lord, but then he stuck to his dharma a little bit, he says, and then he tried to modify. So he was using his intelligence, and then he wanted to follow the Lord's instruction, but at the same time he wanted to not give up his dharma. But what does the Lord say? The Lord says, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. But anyway, so we know these nuances that happen, and how the benedictions of the Lord also was controlled, and then how the Lord actually was very happy with Arjuna, and so on and so forth. So if you look at all the incidences, the highest dharma that one has to follow is that we'll have to please the Lord. Hari Toshanam. So the whole aspect of material world is set up for that only. Atab Kumbir Druja Shreshta Varnashrama Vivagasa Ahaituki Apratihata Samshiddhim Hari Toshanam. So the whole aspect is to please the Lord. That is why this entire creation, or whatever is there, whatever rules are put in place, and everything is culminating towards that. And that is the highest dharma. So from all of this, we can understand how our primary duty should be to please the Lord. And then for pleasing the Lord, of course, we need to have faith. And all these discussions that we had just now, I just try to put these things across as points, which are instructions, or which are conversations between the Lord and Brahmaji in the previous chapter, which actually points towards pleasing the Lord and nothing else. And then once the Lord is pleased, then it is the mercy, whatever I'm able to understand, or whatever I'm able to speak or do, speak, think, everything, not just action, thought, word, deed, everything. It is all because of the mercy of the Lord and nothing else. So that's how we need to understand or interpret what is being told. And in fact, if you look at what Krishna is saying, even in Bhagavad Gita, he is talking about Maya Sakta Manapata Yogam Yunjun Madashraya. That particular shloka is also very important, because I just try to read that. This is 7.1. So in 7.1 it says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Sakta Manapata Yogam Yunjun Madashraya Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Nyasyasi Tak Churno. This particular verse is very important. Some of the acharyas have given wonderful this thing on this. And Srila Prabhupada actually, among all the shlokas in the Bhagavad Gita, I heard that the maximum number of lectures are on this particular verse. That's what I heard from somebody. So this verse is very important. So what does it say? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pruta, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt." So which means asamshayam, without any doubt. Samagram, that means like in full, samagra, full, not half. So all aspects of the Lord you will come to know. How you will come to know? Yogam yunjun madashraya and maya sakta manapata. So think of me and then do the yoga of connecting to me in full consciousness of me. So when we are doing bhakti yoga, then we have to do the bhakti yoga in consciousness of the Lord. Sometimes we just do it, like say we are doing Mangalarati or any Arati we are performing. We just do it, okay, 7, 3, 2, then flower, then this one, all that, everything we might have everything written down, and then we do it. But then most of the time, our minds are in what to do next, or our mind is somewhere else. Once we know the process, then the mind is happily dwelling somewhere else. This happens even with chanting also. So here Krishna is saying, in full consciousness of me, if not full, at least in some consciousness of me. So we start with some partial consciousness so that we'll start moving to the full consciousness. And for this, what we should do? We should not do anything. We should only depend on the Lord. So we should surrender more. The more we surrender, the more the mercy, and more the mercy, then we will be able to think of the Lord. So it's like a hen and an egg, which came first. So actually, each one is the cause for the other. but then we will have to start somewhere. So if we start, then we will be able to get the other one. So in this way, that is why this sadhana bhakti becomes very important, because we start the activity even though the consciousness is not there. When by the mercy of the Lord, the consciousness will come. And then when the consciousness comes, the activity will not stop. Activity will continue and it will become even better. And then because it is better, than the Lord is pleased, so the more mercy, and then so the consciousness becomes better. So it's like an upward spiral, and again, which we spoke of. It's not a downward spiral. And this is how we will have to position ourselves so that we are able to continue our seva and then become more humble. And then, once we are humble, and then we are dependent on the Lord, dependent on the mercy, and then realize that it is because of the mercy that I'm able to do all this. That's the right way to go about it. And that is what he's saying here. Maya sakta manaphartha yogam yunjun madashraya. And then because of that, asamshayam samagramma and yata nyasyasi tachurno. So this is an important shloka, where if you look at the purport that Prabhupada is written here, he is talking about how the full knowledge manifests to the person who is always thinking of the Lord, and whose mind is always the Lord is there, and then he or she is always thinking of the Lord in every step, in every action, able to see the Lord. Like he told Brahma, no, you will see me in the creation, you will see me in you, you will see me in the living entities. So when we interact with other people, are we able to see the Lord? Or at least are we able to be aware that the Lord is there inside that other person also? That itself is a big step. We may not see the Lord, but at least let us be aware that the Lord is there in that other person, so that then we will behave in a proper way. Like how much of respect we give in the mornings, every day when there is Mangalarati in the temple, then there is this Prabhupada Aarti that happens. And when that Aarti is before the start, Srila Prabhupada is carried. Actually, after Darshanarti, Prabhupada's Murti is carried, and then he is shown the darshan, and then the Prabhupada's Murti is carried around as a parikrama, and then he is placed in the altar there. And then the Guru Puja or Prabhupada's Puja happens, Guru Puja happens. So now when that person, one person is designated to carry Srila Prabhupada, the small Murti of Prabhupada, from the main altar to Prabhupada altar. So when the person is carrying it, all of them fall flat, and then they do that. So now we should be able to see or understand that in that way, any person coming, the Lord is sitting in his or her heart. So then how much respect we should give. This is an indication, because the person is physically carrying Prabhupada, we are able to see. So immediately everybody is following prostrated obeisances and all that. And then, it's like that. So like that, we should also think that this person is carrying the Lord in his heart. The Lord is present there. So then should we not give respect to that person? Will our interaction with that person be the same way, even though we have a solid reason to scold or hate, but then the intensity or the dissatisfaction we might express in a better way. I'm not saying we should not express our dissatisfaction, but it should be expressed in a way which is congenial, which is accepted. It shouldn't agitate that other person. So all these finer points will come into us the moment we understand or we are able to see Krishna and other living entities. So like this, at every step, every action, everything, if we are able to see the Lord, or at least if we are able to be conscious that the Lord is there on the other side, then definitely there will be some change, and that change will please the Lord, because that becomes a penance or an austerity for us, and that pleases the Lord, and so more mercy will come. So like this, we can extend this particular loop everywhere. So on this note, I'll stop here. It's exactly 10:30. So this is the sum and essence of the verses, as well as the previous chapter also, and the whole truth, or what, how Brahmaji went about doing. It is just giving us a precursor to that, and then in what mood he did. Because when the trembling happened, he didn't allow himself to panic like he panicked the earlier time. The earlier time when there was Ajnana, he went into the water, he tried to follow that stem where it is coming. He did all those actions. He was doing a lot of actions without knowledge, so it didn't give any result. This time with knowledge, he is doing actions, so everything becomes fine. Because between the point where there was no knowledge to the knowledge, he meditated, and then the Lord's mercy was there. The Lord gave his presence, and then he told him what to do, and all of that. Those interactions have happened for him, so he was able to handle better. So this is the sum and essence that I just wanted to say. If there are any comments or questions, then please go ahead. Otherwise, we can stop here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandas pranams to all of you.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Prabhu. Very nice explanation. A big Hari Bol to you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Now, yeah, any doubts, questions, comments? Please come up. Vasudha Mataji? Okay. Padma Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just
Krishna.
a short, one small doubt. This revealed knowledge is by hearing and reading, right? We get that. We get this knowledge, right? And acquired knowledge is by Lord's mercy.
No, Mataji. Acquired knowledge is by hearing and by reading. That is acquired knowledge.
Yeah.
Then realized knowledge is when we are able to practically, we undergo that, and then, we realize it. Oh,
yeah. Okay. Like thank you so much. Yeah.
And then revealed knowledge is beyond these things, which is like the Lord is revealing it. So like for Vyasadeva, this entire Bhagavatam was revealed in his heart when he sat and meditated. That is revealed knowledge, the highest knowledge. So now what I was saying was, what was revealed knowledge for Vyasadeva is coming down to us directly. So let us see it in that way. It is not acquired knowledge. We see it as acquired knowledge. Oh, today I understood this, very nice, this, that, and all that. But then, I mean, that is good. I'm not saying we shouldn't do that. But then it is revealed knowledge. And then this revealed knowledge is coming directly to me. That's the type of realization that we should have, for which we need the mercy of the Lord. So that's the point.
Yeah.
I hope it answered your question. I don't know.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Then does pranam.
Then does pranam.
Krishna.
Any other question? No. Okay. Prabhu, can I request you to show your altar? We have seen Prabhu and Mataji's altar. This is beautiful, beautiful, dedicated room for Lord. So then maybe we can do Aarati on, Prabhu's Gaurnitai and the Yashoda and Damodar.
Okay, Mataji. So I'll try to do that. Just give me a minute. I have to go down.
Oh, okay, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just walking down. No problem.
Yeah. By the time we can keep our diyas ready. And who will sing Damodar Ashtakam today? Sindhu Mataji. Someone said that day. I think Ramakrishna Prabhu and one more. Sindhu Mataji, right? Sindhu Mataji, you are today, and tomorrow Ramakrishna Prabhu can sing.
Sure, Mataji, sure. Shall I start, Mataji? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. But Mataji, first let Prabhu show us the altar, then you can start.
Okay. Yep.
Krishna, I'm sorry to disappoint, but there is this thing happening right now.
Offering, Prabhu?
Offering is going on.
Okay.
So just give us a minute. By then, I think I'll just focus on the Damodar.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu, please.
One second.
That is also a big picture of that Yashoda Damodar.
Yeah, 1 second. Where is the view where we have blurred the background? Which thing it is in?
Prabhu, video only. There is an arrow. From where we can keep on our video or off our videos.
Second. What do we show? View.
The video icon is there, na Prabhu?
The video icon, yes, I'm seeing.
Yeah. So there is an arrow with that on the upper right corner. On the video, that button only. Where it is written right now, maybe it is written stop video for you.
Correct. That upper
Yeah.
arrow I am clicking.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I'll just remove that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
I couldn't recall where it was.
Yeah.
So right now she's removing, but meanwhile I'll just show the answer.
Yeah.
I hope you're able to see now.
Yes, yes,
After
Prabhu.
this, then
Yes,
I'll
we
show
can.
the answer. Yeah. So we can do the Arati, I mean start the
Yeah,
singing.
Sindhu Mataji can start.
Yes, Mataji. Hari Bol Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Prajamanam Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Prajamanam Yashodavyolokaladavamanam Paramishram Atyanta Sodritya Gopya Yashodavyolokaladavamanam Paramishram Atyanta Sodritya Gopya Rudantam Muhurnetra Yukam Prijantam Parambuja Yukmina Satantanetram Muhushvashakam Patire Kanta Sitagraivam Dhamodaram Bhaktivasam Iti Drikshvalila Virananda Kunde Satoshami Machantam Bhagyapati Diyeshitanishu Bhaktajitasvam Puna Prematastam Sata Vritivante Varam Deva Moksham Na Mokshavadim Sva Nachanyam Vineham Vadishadapiha Idam Deva Purnata Gopala Balam Sada Vimanasya Virashtam Kiman Idam Te Mukambojam Adyantanilai Sam Kuntalai Sitaraktaischa Gopya Muhushchumbitam Bimbaraktadaram Me Manasya Virashtamalam Lakshalabhyam Namo Devadamodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhukta Jalaptimadna Namo Devadamodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabodhukta Jalaptimadna Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Vatanu Vihanishamamagnam Drishtya Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Vatanu Vihanishamamagnam Drishtya Virakmajo Vasa Mutyai Vajatva Vayamuchitau Bhakti Bajo Kritau Cha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakam Niprayacha Namo Kshigra Bhumi Sri Damodare Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakam Niprayacha Namo Kshigra Bhumi Sri Damodare Namaste Sudamne Spuradipti Damne Vati Udharayat Vishwasya Damne Namo Radhikayai Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikayai Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Namo Radhikayai Tvadiya Priyayai Namo Nantalila Devaya Tubhyam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Damodar Ashtakam ki jai, Damodar Mas ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Sindhu Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu, for showing us your altar. Hari Bol.
Thank you for asking. It's our pleasure. It's anyway the Lord's pleasure. I'm sure he would be happy.
No, I could see, Prabhu, that you were standing, taking your mobile and showing us first the Damodar Yashoda Maya and then after your altar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for this seva once again.
Hari Bol to all the audience. So tomorrow again at 9:30, sharp at 9:30, because tomorrow is a guest speaker who is going to come and speak. So we'll meet tomorrow. And before that, we'll do the Vaishnava Pranam Mantra, and then we'll end the class. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo. Anant koti Vaishnavindra ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat pranam.
Shall I end the class, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. We can end.
Okay.
Thank you
Hare
so much
Krishna.
once again. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. And